to have the discussion or the conversation about headlines, well, you have Dr. turned, broadcaster who has been advised to open her own television show. Dr. Zanatho still with us. Dr. Zanatho Ajiman Rollins is still here with us. Roxanne Dafiamako, the Man U fan, who couldn't just hide it when he did the sports, and typical English fan. So I like the way you put it. Okay, Chelsea drops points whilst Man U, picks up 3 points with against a determined. We also have with us the, Deputy Information Minister Fatimatu Abubakar. Honorable, welcome.
Thank you.
Well, I just want you to clear your throat. I haven't heard you speak since, on the sets.
Yes, I've been enjoying the band.
You have been enjoying the band and all.
Nodding and singing along.
Well, I saw you, dancing to, the band music earlier. Those were beautiful
very good
moves.
Morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. And Dr. Aduma, Dr. Dixon Adumako Kisi is still here with us. Dr. Dixon Adumako Kisi. Welcome. Thank you very much. So soon we'll be going through the headlines, but let's go into town. Yes, we are in the studio here. We are doing our own things, and we believe that people are having fun with us out there because we are having fun ourselves here. We are enjoying this. Maybe, like I said, one person will remain with the permission of Mr. Speaker after today. But let's go into town to find out what people are also doing in town just to mark the new year. And Kafui Day is with the team in town, currently at Circle, I'm told. Let's hear what they have for us. Hello, Kafui.
Thank you so much, Honorable Alhassan Suhini. Good morning. This is Keep an Eye on #GTV Breakfast Flip. We're here at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle here in Accra. I am multi-decider Sadiq. There's a lot of activity happening here. It's the day after New Year's Day, and I'm here with King
Calf, and straight ahead is where we have the VIP and the STC stations. Behind us, we have OA, and then if you point towards my left, that's where we take you towards Kwame Nkrumah Circle, and that's where all the traffic is going. And there's a lot of activity, a lot of noise. It's unbelievable how people are able to do their work here. So you can see right now the STC yard, and the camera is panning around to show you the VIP station as well. The announcers are busily making their destinations known to the whole populace around here. And then straight down is where you go towards Obechebi Lamte Circle. So we're giving you a 360-degree angle of what's happening here. And now we are going to be moving to speak to the first of our people who sells interesting things that Maltiti will talk to you about. Maltiti, take it away.
Thank you, Kaf. And so a lot of activity happening here, as Kaf said. It's surprising that it's just the day after New Year's Day. Today is a holiday, but the business side of Accra is what we're bringing to you. Want to know how is buying and selling, how is business like? And I have Abigail here with me. She's going to just tell us how business has been this morning. Abigail, Netiseng. Business, costing.
Oh, business need the uncosa. You musukra.
Sa anope ubaye nipa saying na wait me at ama.
Oh, nipa bebre atobi. Oma tobi bre. Anso. Epifanisa. Na
enra no ubeton your ma enra yesterday.
Enra the first enu the first thing. Ya call so one.
Na ahanum ye hu say wo ha eyesa with security no enye tight because Uncle Fon in them ho na say omo say kwashe boys obeji wo phone and na obeya obibi nti wo ya oba no wo be den kwa wo
media min time makonu musa ebia be ma be ton ale keke na masa akofie nti me ba me mfa nema tale me ho sa
na hu Uncle Fon na omo wo hanum no na ase omo ni baby da ebi mu beto ade no omo ka che say oh fa che me ana ti suma me ana
ebi mu kan
enti business there oh hwe so say new year e there
nema besisa le hwe so say nema besisa ni
yeah, that's it, Abigail. So I'm just moving. King Kaf also has someone to talk to. Handing over to King Kaf now.
Thank you very much, Maltiti Queen from the North. Bros, how be?
Yeah, fine, cool.
What be your name?
I'm Gigs.
Gigs and
Michael.
Gigs and Michael. So Gigs, so the last day of 2022, where were you?
Oh, I was at church on 31st, and it was so much great, and it was good. I went and I spent all night at the Church of Destiny Embassy.
Okay.
That's where I church with my family.
All right. And what is your plan for this new year, 2023? What is your hope?
Okay, this new year, my hope is greater things will follow, greater things will come, good health, prosperity, and good things to happen in the country also.
And finally, for your friends at Zoom Lion, what do you want to tell them?
Oh, I want to wish them all the prosperous new year, that this new year that we are in, great things to flow to the members, the workers of Zoom Lion, especially our CEO, Jospon Ajepun Esiaun, with the good Lord be with him and protect him, more knowledge and more vision for the good work of Zoom Lion and the whole nation of the Ghana country.
Thank you very much, Gigs. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
Michael, how be?
Fine, sir.
So the last day of 2022, where were you?
So I won't lie, I spent my 2022 in this overhead because I didn't get any church to go. I didn't have any place to go. It's here, it's my last stop. I'm sleeping here and I'm working here, so I didn't get any place to go. That's why I'm here.
Wow, what do you do, Michael?
I'm carrying load.
Okay. What kind of loads?
I used to carry load if bus come back from Kumasi or Tamale. Then I'll go there, I'll go and hijack some load, then take them to station. Then they'll give me something to eat, or 5 cedis or 10 cedis.
Where's your family?
My family, they are in Nigeria.
Okay. So how long have you been in Ghana, my brother?
I've been in 1 year. This January is making me 1 year.
Are you hopeful for 2023?
Yes, that's why I'm still in. I don't go since, but I gave faith and I hope. See, God will bless me. That's why I still stand.
Don't lose hope, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Don't lose hope, okay?
See,
God day, make you no lose hope.
I will not lose hope.
Thank you very much. All right. Okay, so we're walking, and as you can see, there's somebody lying down here. I really don't know why he's here, but, well, he's there. And we're now heading over, going to cross over and speak to another person on the streets. I'm going to hand the microphone over to Maltiti, and she'll take it over. Maltiti, take it away.
Thank you, King Kaf. I saw you pointing to the homeless man just sleeping on the streets, and a lot is really happening here at Circle. Still speaking to traders about how their wares are going, how market is going. We want to speak to them and see how business is going this side of our town in Accra Central. You've seen her, and she's just close to her wares. A customer is even calling her, but she's decided to speak to us on GTV Breakfast. Val is here in the background as our Lance Corporal, checking our security, as well as Alan and Jay. And so we're here with Auntie. Good morning.
Morning.
Auntie, morning. Pachona business air costs is saying and pay.
Oh, business there, yeah, we are fine.
Auntie, when your man out to you to biscuits, no drinks. They say fuel atiso. Auntie, your man on so atiso because we na ye toma ye busia for Christmas.
Oh, and your man the intimate so because you have a good order. A boy na I'm the my abording. And to just say a ton that and we answer. Yet me at so.
Auntie, New Year you won't say crossing.
Oh, New Year de koye, na bronya and koye, but New Year and the muya kakra.
Badjom no motor nyoma na mo hanom no moya den na o security ye because say okofo bi na yesi kwahye boys obetumi afa obi bi we saying we oba
say me pra na me de me hu so bi adidi ato a me pra anopa so me pra say de opani bi twamu a efi on ha na nyinti so me sori anopa pra obi didi to a so me pra me customer so beta de me de ade esi odidi a na ma kire so on fa ntum.
Then I will need shop now. Would the to a umbrella and tables?
Shop on the Minya. I may add more. If we are next year, this year, no more small per shop.
How would you assembly for tax?
I am mom tickets 1 cedi. There be a.
More that's been some to me, they will fin egu.
I am made the box was similar. Yeah, around the Debia near Messiwa, the Bolagum.
Mother, yeah, wish you happy new year and our business are cold.
Mr. Medas.
Thank you so much. We've been speaking to Auntie Mother, and she's just been telling us that business is slowly picking up, unlike the Christmas, but the New Year, at least sales is coming in, and she doesn't have money to afford the shop, but she's hoping that this year she'll be able to get money and afford the shop and put her wares in it so that she'll be able to make sales. Now I'm handing over to King Kaf, who is also with an Okada rider, and he'll tell you his story.
Thank you very much, Maltiti. I'm sure Honorable Suyuni will be happy with this particular issue because when I go to Tamale, there's a lot of Okada bikes there. Mohammed, salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Happy New Year to you. I mean, where did you spend the last day of 2022? Where were you?
Obviously, I was in the house because I'm a Muslim. I don't go anywhere. I have a small family. I was with my family in the house.
How is the business of Okada?
Oh, but it's not too much, but we thank God because we are managing with the business like that. We have no choice than to manage this and then to manage it like that.
Do you think they should legalize this business?
Yeah, we think so. They should do that for us because there's no any work for us. And if there's no if they stop the Okada, like we shouldn't do Okada more, or we shouldn't do the Okada anymore. I think there will be a lot of crimes in the country.
You went to school. How far did you go to school?
Obviously, this is SS. I think SS. Yes.
What is your plan for 2023, my brother?
2023. Obviously, I'm planning to move forward. Like I'm planning to travel. You want
to travel? Which country do you want to go to, my brother?
Like Kuwait.
You want to go to Kuwait? Yes. You leave the bike and go to Kuwait?
Yes. Because when I traveled to Accra here, I was selling yogurt. Through yogurt, and I bought this motor. And I have the vision to go forward. I'm planning to go forward.
I wish you the best. Say love to your family and your everybody who you care about. All right, and so that's our Okada Circle Traders vibe on the second day of the new year, talking to people about their hopes, where they spend the last day of 2022, and what their plans are for 2023. My name is Kafui Day, and from all of us here,
Well, the Okada man is focused on moving forward. He doesn't intend to stay here. From yogurt to a motorbike, the target is Kuwait. Well, I don't know what you have planned for your new year, but it will be interesting to share with us. You can join us on any of those platforms that we shared with you earlier. But let's go through the headlines of the websites, because we don't have the newspapers with us today. So we'll pick the headlines from some of the websites. We'll get some from GBC Online. We'll also pick some from Graphic Online and Ghana Web as well. And after we go through some of the stories, we will have a conversation in the studio. And my guests are still seated. So we will go through some interesting stories and then we will pick thoughts on those stories as well. Well, so we have Ghana announced new COVID-19 protocols following fresh global threats. That is on the GBC Ghana Online. Then on Ghana Web, you have EPA to prosecute hospitality facilities with expired permits. You also have on GBC Ghana Online again, stay focused on your 2023 goals. AME Zion Church pastor is urging us all to stay focused on our 2023 goals. Don't be like those who promise to eat healthy this year but have postponed it till after the holiday period. That is till tomorrow. You also have Ghana to review existing COVID-19 measures to avert further outbreaks. You have Agric Minister appeals to Thai investors to invest. We will continue on path of economic emancipation is another headline. Resume work in 2023 with renewed vigor. ICU I'm sure, to its workers. Then you have Nigel Gazi and his New Year prophecies. We'll be discussing that shortly. So those are some of the headlines, but let's look at the details of some of them. So I saw his boots were taken off. Nigel Gazi discloses 2023 prophecy about IGP. Well, was it really about IGP? He says he has a country that he's looking on. But the story is that the founder and leader of the Prophetic Hill Chapel, Prophet Nigel Gazi, revealed a prophecy with regards to the leadership of the Ghana Police Service as part of his disclosures during the 2022 Watch Night service. Nigel Gezi, who had days prior revealed in a radio interview that he had a prophecy bordering on the Inspector General of Police, stated that there will be a new police chief in the year 2023. Without elaborating on why and how the change will take place, he stressed that it was what he had seen in the spiritual realm and that only prayers could change that course of events. Quote, "The Lord took my spirit to the Republic of Yempe Nokware." So he's not talking about Ghana. He's talking about Yempe Nokware, the state of Yempe Nokware. And I saw that there was a change of an IGP. I saw it in the realm of the spirit. I saw that the IGP, his boot, was taken off. I saw it. Quote, "I dreamt, I saw it, and it will come to pass. If they don't pray about it, it will come to pass." Unquote. He emphasized. Gezi is one of a few clergymen who publicly rejected an order from police to desist from issuing prophecies. This is the catch for me. That had the tendency of inducing fear and panic. In their defense, they hold that prophecies are not the words of the messengers, but of God. He led a Watch Night service that took place at the premises of the church in Accra, with other congregants following on social media platforms. His prophecies were centered on a cryptic country called Republic of Yempe Nokware, which had similarities to Ghana. So I have a prophecy on IGP Dampare. I think this is, the background to this prophecy. An interview he did before 31st night. In an interview on Power FM, Gezi reiterated that prophets are the mouthpieces of God and that any attempt to gag them is akin to putting a check on God, which is not possible. He disclosed that God had so far given him 47 prophecies to communicate to Ghanaians on 31st December Watch Night. We are not scared of the quote, "We are not scared of the prophecies because we speak the mind of God, not humans." Already, God has revealed 47 things to me, and there could be more. Before midnight Saturday, we could get more. God has revealed a lot of things to me, and I'm not alone. Other prophets have also received prophecies. We are ready to speak the minds of God. So Ghana police should avert their minds to the serious issues in the country and leave the prophets and church to do the work of God. If the Spirit of God is in you, you say it as it is. You don't get scared. There will be prophecies on Ghana, South Africa, Nigeria, England. We have prophecies on the IGP. Prophecy number 14 is about the IGP. I've seen something about him, so I will say it. I am surprised he's acting that way because he's Pentecostal, unquote, he said. So that is Prophet Nigel Gezi's, those are some of the things he has seen in the realm of the spirit that he shared. And I said a part of the story was the catch for me because the IGP is leading, the directive against prophecies. He says that they should not engage in prophecies that will cause fear and panic. And here is a daring prophet whose prophecy is not on just about anything, but about the IGP himself. So we dare you. But let's pick our rant for the day before we go into some of these stories. I'll start first with Honorable Roxanne Dafiamakwa. What's on your mind this morning?
My worry this morning, Sweeney, is the inundation of highways with speed ramps, unauthorized speed ramps. Yeah. And it's a real danger to road users. Nearly every trunk road now has a speed ramp, unauthorized. And sometimes you drive in the morning, by the time you are back in 2 hours, about 3-4 speed ramps made of stone, tree trunks, all manner of material have been erected on the road. Yes, I agree that we need, as road users and as drivers, you are enjoined in law to observe speed limits when you get to communities. In the same way, pedestrians or community members are also not to be playing on the highway. The highway is not a playground, it's not a bedroom. But you find people holding conversations, doing all manner of things on a highway. It is called a highway, a trunk road. It's a highway. So if you are not disciplined, you get injured. Some people leave their children to cross, homes in our communities. Our communities are developed in a linear manner mostly. So we build along roads before we do the nodal or before we do the nucleus. A lot of developments happen along the highways before they become
bigger communities.
Nuclear. That's before they move outward. So you have homes, people marry from across the street. And this is a highway. So you see children, even animals, stray animals.
Someone once described it as, walking from the hall to the bedroom.
It's something I have observed. If you travel around the country, it's such, and it caused a very serious accident a couple of days ago.
That's true.
And
someone was doing cocoa. Drying cocoa.
Exactly. Or all manner of food crops. People dried maize, people dried pepper, people dried cassava.
On a highway.
On the highway. Those ones are okay for me.
Are they?
No, those ones. No. Listen to me in context. You see, listen to me in context. Those ones won't cause accidents. They will destroy your product.
They do. They do. I mean, at the time that you are drying it, you don't know if a vehicle,
Yeah, so the car will destroy your product. Your food crop dried on the road. That for me, you do so at your own risk.
It's all irresponsible.
I agree.
Let's just call it what it is.
But what is the problem for me is the decision by some members without recourse to the highway or urban rules to erect dangerous speed ramps because an accident must have happened leading to fatality, or a near accident situation occurred that nearly resulted in an accident. So the community decides to come together and do that. The danger is that people who are not accustomed to the existence of the speed ramp, when they must have passed a couple of hours earlier, has the risk of, a driver who didn't appreciate that or doesn't know, has the greater risk of, getting himself in an accident.
I absolutely agree with you. So I think that it is about the Highways Authority. They have to be more proactive and ensure that they construct speed ramps where they should have them, and they should also clearly, identify
authorized
exactly, and drivers should be very responsible when they are approaching communities, especially. And then inhabitants or people who also live around these highways must be more responsible than they currently are. So you have all of us, if we all have ourselves behaving the way we should behave and being responsible, I think that will minimize accidents in this year, especially when you look at the numbers of casualties and fatalities we record.
No, I'm just wondering, because every part of this country has the local assemblies.
Right.
Surely when somebody is building a ramp, you cannot be oblivious to that.
Right.
And once it's built, you're aware it's there.
Right.
And it just seems as though a lot is happening, and the relevant structures that are in place are not being held responsible for at least the monitoring or enforcement of the situation.
You see, the assemblies are not responsible. It's the feeder rules.
But they are there as you understand, locally. Who should bring it to the attention?
Assembly member. But you'll be surprised the assembly member will
be will be the one who would have gone around to take contributions for
to build it.
What's your rant, Honorable?
I think it would have to be the the number of growing families that we're finding now using the ceremonial roads as their place of begging and sleeping. Right. And, you know, obviously, you know, now they're obviously using it as places of convenience as well. This is unacceptable. And for a country like Ghana, we should not be doing this. You can't see this happening in Togo and Cote d'Ivoire, you know, and for some reason we seem to feel that we have advanced a lot further than some of the other countries. So what is our excuse for not dealing with this issue? You know, and time and again, we've had questions asked on the floor of Parliament, you know, to the ministers, whether it's interior or, you know, gender and social protection, you know, with regards to what is being done, because it seems to be growing and it's getting out of hand. You know, there have been incidents where, you know, some of the kids have gotten knocked down by vehicles because they're just running across because they have no concept of the danger that they're being exposed to. Plus the fact that it's an increasing danger to motorists as well. Some people have been attacked in their vehicles by some of these persons who are, you know, at the various traffic lights, or, you know, either attack people when the traffic slows down or the lights go red. You know, it's terrible. You know, speaking to someone who
use, what they use to clean
to hit it, yes.
Especially if you don't
know,
give them money.
Exactly. I mean, surely that cannot be happening in a country.
I gave a young girl money, and when he came, I ignored him, and when I was about to move, he hit my screen.
That's not acceptable. I mean, a friend of mine mentioned that she was actually in traffic one day when the light, before the light turned green, she saw one of the children going to put a rag in the exhaust pipe of one of the cars.
Yes, I think
you know, I mean, this cannot be happening, and we're increasingly putting people at risk. You know, both the people who are not supposed to be there, plus the motorists as well. So
doesn't this speak to the weakness of our social protection system,
I would say
social welfare system,
and law enforcement? Because you have now, with all the motorbikes and all the visible police who are there for visibility, you know, but sometimes this is happening right before them.
And they share the spot with them.
It's mind-boggling, and it's a real problem that we have to address.
Should it be the responsibility of the local assemblies more to take this up, or just the law enforcement agencies?
I think it's a combination. That's why we have the DISEX. Right. You know, that's why you have this collaboration between the security and local assembly, because then it means that you're not waiting for somebody to come from regional to deal with the issue. But really, we need to maybe, you know, have a change of mindset with regards to what's acceptable, you know, because when you didn't have that many, one could overlook it. But right now, it's gotten out of hand. You know, and it's not
and
safe.
I've actually seen a documentary that suggests that many of them are foreigners, and they are contract beggars.
Yes, it's part of a syndicate.
Actually, you know, managed by some people who are not on the street, and daily collections are taken from them and stipends paid to them. And I think that we should be concerned.
It's a cultural, religious thing, you know, alms giving, begging, you know, it has a deep religious.
But it's been abused, even within the religious context. At least as a Muslim, I do know, and my sister will agree with me, that you are not supposed to beg for more than your sustenance. If you are hungry, you beg for just enough to eat. You don't, you know, stay there and make it a job. It becomes a sin. It's not allowed. Dr. Kisi.
Yes, I think today, most of us will rant about roads, and I would rant about the one leading to Pokwase interchange.
And the traffic light that we have a challenge
at the Awoshi end going to Ablekuma Kev. So I'll use this opportunity to rant about that. And more importantly, people are selling chicken in between. And it's becoming like, you know how Circle had people selling in between the major roads. And I really think that since this is one of the biggest investments we've had in this country in terms of a 4-tier, you know, road, any road leading to either from ACP coming or from my end, which is Awoshi connecting, I really think that Roads and Highway needs to take it serious. The Assembly is doing their best, but really, this is one of the interchanges in the country that is monumental. And as such, I think should be given extra help, or should be taken very good care of in terms of the grass growing, And I'd also beg parents who have their children cross these roads when school closes and when school opens. We've had some fatalities, and no parent, and I should say this, no parent should allow their up to even 15 years to cross these roads unguided. And they should use the pedestrian walk, and then the bridges provided for pedestrians is very important. So I'd rant about that, since it seems Dafiama Paul started it off with roads, and yes, I know I need roads in my constituency, but this particular road, which is the Awoshi Pokwasi road, we need help. We need help. So I'll use this opportunity.
Have you spoken to the minister about it before?
Well, we've done our best. We'll continue to do our best.
Okay.
Is this really about a minister?
We have had two
years
of road.
It's roads and highway. And
2
I
years
think the
declared
authority,
as years of road.
the authority needs to pick up their game. And what kills me the most, everybody transfers to the next. You'd go to the municipal, they'll say it's feeder roads. You go to feeder roads, they'll say they'll come. And at the end of the day, we want it solved. And I cannot buy traffic lights for my constituency. That is not in my domain. And traffic lights elsewhere, once the car hits a traffic light, insurance is there to fix it. And I think that, and let me say this, we've forgiven the insurance companies in this country too much. In the sense that a car knocks down a traffic light, is the car's insurance company that is supposed to give government money to fix it.
Yes.
And unfortunately, we are not tasking Ghana insurance companies enough.
No.
I mean,
This all happens
yes.
in our road traffic regulation.
Correct.
Where a motorist destroys
Public property.
Public property road fixture, including destruction to a traffic light.
Correct.
The surcharge includes the replacement of the traffic light. And normally, they pay.
So if there's prosecution.
Yes.
So if there's prosecution.
Yes, you pay.
Yeah.
I know. I've done a lot of cases where the offender actually pays.
And how many
The problem has been the
offenders have
replacement.
been prosecuted?
The problem has been making sure that the fine paid, including the cost of replacing the road fixture, is done. We don't monitor that. Look, I have applied since 2018 to have traffic light installed at Peki Chame Government Hospital in my constituency. Peki is such a major, is the Eastern Corridor, and the hospital is this way. The community all the way to Peki Apeviupa is on the other side. So it's such a major intersection. There's been a lot of accidents. And I think that the installation of a traffic light will reduce
so we all have those
no, but the point
problems.
I'm making is that highways and feeder road, they don't know who
is responsible
to install the traffic light.
It's serious.
Honorable, let's hear your rant.
This year, traffic lights should be looked at. That is my plea to the authorities.
Well, those of us who do not have good road networks, will challenge that. You have
maintenance culture. Maintenance culture.
That's true. But let's hear Honorable Fatima.
Honorable, let me use this opportunity to say Happy New Year to you all and to our cherished viewers at home. This morning, I don't really have a rant, properly so called, but I would like to share my thoughts on 30 December. I must say that for so many years, I think Ghanaians have gained some notoriety when it comes to, our hospitality, but we have not cashed in on that hospitality. But since they started the year of return in 2019 and all the festivals that come with it, I'm so proud to say that from government to, ordinary Ghanaians, to these young men who put events together, to GIPC and the Diaspora Affairs, what they have done to tourism in Ghana is phenomenal, especially for those of us who are into festivals and you step out, you attend Afrochella, Afro Nation, Taste of Ghana, all these festivals happening in Accra, Takoradi and Cape Coast and other parts of the country. You realize that you can walk into a festival and maybe about 20 people within where you are standing, you may not even find a Ghanaian. And I am saying that in a good way because these people don't, carry their houses and their food and their vehicles along. They come and patronize businesses that are run in Ghana. I've managed a hotel before. I know what tourism does to the hospitality industry. And to see that over the past few years, we are getting huge numbers, tens of thousands of people coming to Ghana in December just to have fun, enjoy themselves. And all these celebrities who are coming and keeping Ghana in the trends and in the spotlight for other people to say they are visiting Ghana. I say people do business tourism, religious tourism. And among others, if Muslims will go to Mecca, Christians will go to Israel, and others will go to Dubai. If the African diaspora want to come to Ghana, and it is because Ghana is safe, it's because Ghanaians are hospitable, and the government is also putting in the necessary measures to make sure that it's easier to travel during these festive seasons. I think it's a very, very good thing. And I want to use this opportunity to commend everybody for making other blacks or African diasporans feel well received and loved and willing to come in, buy properties, invest in Ghana and to patronize our businesses, especially within this period. So
right.
Just to express my gratitude.
Yes, you are right. She's one of the people in charge of the government's image, so you should understand. She's the Deputy Information Minister, Honorable Fatima Abubakar. My rant, however, on what you said is about the, it seems to me that all the good things that you have highlighted, which, by the way, cannot be contested, remains in Accra. And the safe Accra is Ghana. You don't get share of the fun in Kumasi, in Cape Coast, in Tamale, of course. We should be able to make these areas attractive to the people who come, and so that they leave knowing that Ghana is not just Accra. And then security, we'll talk about that. I think on the entertainment sport we'll be discussing that. But let's look at the prophecies. It's amazing. So the IGP says that people should not engage in these prophecies, especially the ones that create fear and panic. And here he is himself a subject of this year's prophecy with the caution that his boots might just be removed, which spiritually is interpreted to mean
you are interpreting it.
That's how it is reported, that he may be losing his job. Let me start with you, Doc. What do you make of these prophecies, Dr. Gisi?
So I think, let me put out a disclaimer. I don't think God talks only on the 31st of December. And that is my belief, that God talks also during Easter. He talks every day. So it's unfortunate that we make it a December 31st thing. God talks all the time. And I really think that we shouldn't be, our appetite, Ghanaian appetite for prophecy is also a problem. Because if you don't have people who devour or eat or swallow these prophecies, it will be of no use. But it seems that, unfortunately, the average Ghanaian wants to hear something on 31st. And they are craving for who's going to have an accident, who's going to die, and who's going to have money and all that. So I really think that we need to watch the audience first. And if the audience appetite is not huge for prophecies, I think the many men of God or women of God will limit this. And I think that it is ironic that he would make mention of the Republic of what? Yempenokre. Instead of homophobia or something. Homophobia was the last republic, which needs to be investigated where that country is. But I really think that it's quite interesting, and legally, fortunately, he has some good legal advisors, because we are assuming it's the IGP of Ghana, but literally, per what he has said, it's not the IGP of Ghana, and you cannot really go after him for that.
No, but you see, that is if you are looking at what he said on 31st in isolation. But if you took into consideration his interviews before he you know, shared these prophecies, he was on radio and said he had a prophecy on the
But
IGP
let me ask that
of
question,
Ghana.
though. Do you think we are afraid if IGP will lose his job? I don't think there's any panic with that. Anybody can lose his
It can
job.
create panic within the police service.
Oh,
it does. I mean,
we've had many changes of
I mean,
IGPs.
fortunes of officers and all of that depend on who is IGP. It can create panic within the service.
I'm not afraid if the IGP gets changed.
Yeah,
I'm not afraid.
because you see, you are not directly related to maybe what happens there. As a Ghanaian, your relationship with the IGP is only perhaps to the extent that he manages the service to provide you adequate security.
Correct.
So anybody who is there and that is assured, you will not have a problem. But in the service, you have the internal work politics.
We pray, it won't happen.
That's the part I like about these prophecies.
So I really think that, you know, he also gave us...
There's always a condition.
The room that if we pray, the boots will remain strapped on. and I would encourage the IGP...
to pray.
Supposedly, if it is him, to be on his knees doing the Pentecostal thing and praying. And this will not be...
Well, that's not why we made him IGP, though. Dr. Zarata, what do you think? We didn't make him IGP to be on his knees praying. That would not guarantee us.
For boots on. For boots to, you know, to be kept on.
Well, I think the issue of prophecy, I mean, the Bible talks about false prophets, but it also highlights people who have prophesied whatever has happened and so on. And it becomes a tricky thing. You know, I think Roxanne mentioned earlier this issue of, you know, religion and culture. When you enter into that space of religion or spiritual belief or people's religious beliefs, it becomes a very almost a gray area, because yes, you know, you may say, you know, don't do this or don't do that, but then does that mean that you're kind of, you know, stretching your arm too far into the religious space? You know, to what extent can you make a connection between a particular prophecy and, let's say, some kind of chaotic situation that has happened? You know, can you, you know, make direct links between that and something else? You know, because we have to be careful. I think in some countries, that's why you have this very obvious separation of church and state, so that there isn't that overly, you know, controlling, you know, characteristic that sometimes one observes. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, no IGP is ever in place forever anyway. No one is ever in place forever anywhere anyway, you know. So whether, you know, what he's seen comes to pass in the near future or not, the bottom line is that the president is at liberty to change the IGP if he so desires. The Constitution makes room for it, you know. So we live to see. But at the end of the day, does it mean that his prophecy is what led to it? You know, these things happen.
You know, the thing is, if it doesn't happen, then it means the IGP prayed.
Yeah.
You know, but if it happens, which is a possible occurrence, I mean, it is something that can happen, then it means the prophecy, you know, works. So either way, the prophet wins. That's how it looks like to me.
Prophecy.
But of interest to you MPs may also be, you know, the talk of what may happen to, you know, some MPs. He says that, I'm trying to find that, prominent MPs to lose their seats in Parliament. Are you prominent?
I don't know.
Then he says, attack on Parliament. 2 of the MPs won't make it to the last meeting of the legislature.
Hey.
Yeah. And so on and so forth. But he says that the minority will win big. Dr. Fatima, what do you think about
in their primaries or what?
No, in the general election.
No,
the general election, he says the minority
no
group will win big.
And this is the Republic of Yempeno.
So
then it's not Ghana. The majority or minority in Yempeno.
Yes, what's your take?
Honorable, you know, religion is such a difficult topic to talk about in Ghana. But I must start by saying that Article 21, Clause 1C of the 1992 Constitution has guaranteed the freedom to practice your religion and to manifest that practice. And when we talk about manifestation, it may take a lot of forms. Whether I like it or not, you may manifest in different ways. But it also has, the manifestation should be in recognition of other rights that other people have. But in a situation whereby with technology and all that, streaming on social media, you know, streaming live on TV, broadcasting on all sorts of platforms, sometimes the recipients of the message may not be your intended recipients. People will chance on the message, and it's no longer within the confines of your religious space. So in the spirit of, you know, protecting our country and making sure that everyone expresses and manifests those rights without, you know, any injury of a sort to other people, we have to be a bit measured in some of the way we go about saying things. Because I remember there was a time that there were some prophecies about the national chief imam about to die a number of years on a row. And you remember at some point, I think some
young
boys
men
went to
attack
some
the
place to
church.
ransack the place, and it was unfortunate. But some of these things may not, even with our best intentions, I'm not in that spiritual realm. I don't know
Yet.
what is there that he's seeing. But sometimes the consequences are beyond what you anticipated as a prophet should happen. So it's not like someone can instruct you. The right is unfettered, is by the Constitution. But we have to, on our own, try as much as possible in, you know, manifesting our religious beliefs and all that. Be aware of other people's rights and the implication of those actions on our country.
You know, I always make reference to KSM's thought on some of our religious groups every time I have a conversation on religion. He calls some of those platforms as, you know, platforms of mass destruction, you know, weapons of mass destruction. In fact, that's how he describes them. And I sometimes just think that the way we trust our prophets and believe them, if they were pro-development and if they were, you know, discipline and preaching discipline, I just wonder how far we would have gone as a country. Because trust me, we trust our prophets even more than our doctors, more than our politicians, you know, more than our scientists. We trust our prophets. And if they just, you know, guided us well onto the right path, I just can't imagine how well this country would have done. But you are right, it's a difficult conversation to have when it is religion. Let me hear from Roxanne and I'll see.
Doc, as if Doc and I, Dr. Fatimata.
No, Fatimata, not Doc
okay.
yet.
As if we compare notes, but let me say this. Today is my second daughter's birthday.
Awesome.
Sissy, happy birthday.
Happy birthday from all of us.
Happy birthday.
Sissy. How old is she?
I love you. 15.
15 years.
Girls.
Okay.
I love you so much. And then Happy New Year to my constituents.
Come on, Doc. A while ago, you were talking about the age brackets.
In Peki, Balik Pervertambo. Happy New Year to all of you.
Don't threaten
the Christmas was difficult, but we had fun.
Right.
Yeah, it's leading to the Gans Stu Yam Festival on the 28th, 29th, 30th in Peki. So Happy New Year to all of you.
Did you get some traditional prophecies as well?
No. Togba Tikulaja, Togba Kudompe, and Mama Tomelo in Peki Balik Pervertambo. And all my constituency executives and branch executives.
Very necessary political PR.
I love you all. Look, some of the first things you are taught when you enter law school is that there is no place for spirituality in the law. There's no place for spirituality in the law. In other words, the law does not thrive on spiritual matters. Everything is about evidence. So as a people, we are unable to legislate on spiritual matters, because spiritual matters are divine matters, and divine matters are matters belonging in the realm.
Agrada.
So it's become so difficult for us. Look, prophecies of relevance to nations of today and of before if you read the Quran, if you read the Bible, there have been great role of prophecies in the building of nations. And if we leave the religious matters or matters of religion, if we come to nation building, great nations hitherto go to war, would decide to go to war based on what the prophecies have been said. If they go to the battle and lose, they won't go. You've heard of the great oracle of Delphi. In Sparta, if Spartans will go to war, they have to go to the Greek oracle called Delphi. For Delphi to foretell what will happen. So these are matters that have some socio-cultural relevance. So I will be the last person, like Fatimata restated the constitutional provision. The manifestation of the right to one's religious beliefs comes in many, many forms. And you are right in saying that last year, Prophet Nigel used Umwafia. And this year, he says Republic of Yempen, Ukraine. But the use of the police boot, it's symbolic. The boot is symbolic of the profession and of office. In the same way, in Parliament, your seat is symbolic of the office that MPs hold. In political office, the seat. In the presidency, is still the seat or the sort of office. So I will not discount it. Anybody who is affected, they say the God reveals to redeem. So if it is revealed, it's redeemable. So he says we should pray. If we have to pray, if we are affected, you pray and avert it. But I agree that spiritual matters are overtaking our entire life these days.
But why are these prophecies always gloomy? Most of the time they are not good news. Why don't we see our CD overtaking the dollar, for example, in the coming year? Why don't we see us getting so much cocoa, and gold exports? Why are they always gloomy?
I have asked those questions on some other platforms myself. Look, you would discover that you will encounter people who will tell you that your great-great-great-grandfather buried something in your house.
They never tell you it's good.
No, don't tell you it's good. They say it's something in your house that is perhaps bringing death to your home.
You from succeeding.
Yes, and they say a lot of demoralizing
I know,
things.
Ramsey, we may have to pick some text messages from our viewers, and Dr. Adumaku Kisi will help us do that. Doc, what have our listeners been saying
It's
about
always
the show
good
so far?
to bring them on board. So this one says, good morning, great presentation by 3 MPs. I think there are 4 of us here, by the way, and in the studio at the moment. And he says the prophecies by Nigel Gazy and Osumempa are not prophets, and we should focus on them and forget about them. That's one person's rant. Another person says, good morning to Honorable Al-Hassan Suhini. If there's any MP to be remain and detained on GTV, is you. So Mr. Speaker, we're leaving Suhini behind. That reduces your numbers in Parliament, and I'll be happy about that. Another person says, good morning from East Legon. But this Legon, I'm not sure. Maybe there's the 2023 spelling of Legon. Or is it Lagoon? I don't know. The next person says that he's writing from Tamale. I think you have a lot of fans from Tamale today. And he's within your party. I've forgotten your party, by the way, Suhini. And then I am Mudater Hamidu from Kaswa. And he says that his other name is what? Walantu Bigel. Hey. Anyways, there are places in this country. He's saying a good morning to all of us. And people not working hard should be arrested. Hey, child, this guy, brutal. Good morning, GTV Breakfast Show, aka from Dema. He says that the IGP has made us known that we have to ban most of the religious activities in Ghana because it is a severe scam. Speaking of scams, some of the religious men are scammers. That one we all know. And some can double your money, but they can't double their own money. That one too is there. That's for another day. This one comes in and he says that, good morning to all of you guests in the studio. Thank you very much. The topic being discussed is very important and interesting. The very challenge being discussed has come to where, hey, because of us politicians, wallahi, I don't know how politicians have influenced the religious men. We need to investigate that. Now, this one goes to Honorable Suhini. Hey, the light of Tamale North. I wish you and the family a happy new year. Honorable, you are too much. This is Jamal from Kanvili. Interesting. You are a superstar. Now, the next guy says, it is funny that the panelists are not able to call a spade a spade. These fake prophecies. Hey, Yen can't no quarry. Which country is that? Yen can't no quarry. Which country is that? And then the next one. In fact, today they've done well. So many, I would say, information coming in. So this guy says, my point is that we voted for parliamentarians to implement economic policies that will favor the poor and the vulnerable in the society, but fuel the division of society in the name of politics, blah, 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 blah. There's a lot of talk.
He's going the wrong way.
All right.
Scroll up.
All right. So this one also says that, please, this is the health issue. We can go further up. And let me come here to Ashaiman. This is Alaji Haruna. Ashaiman says, good show from you MPs. We're leaving Suhini behind. It's been agreed upon per the viewers. Good morning, Happy New Year. He's enjoying our show. This one says that, please, teachers' laptops, Honorable Nelson. Anyways, that goes to you about your roads that you talked about. And then Osei MP, thank God for your life. Big ups to my personal person. Hey, myself here. Okay, thank you. I think I know that face. We have to go up, 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 up. Plenty messages. This one is a video. Hey, okay. This one comes in from Haruna Ashaiman. Good show. Wonderful. So viewers have done very well in contributing today. We'll go back to Suhini.
Okay, Doc, thank you very much for taking us through some of the comments that have come through so far. But let's wrap up the conversation now, because we have to make way for the next segment, and that will be talking about New Year resolutions with Pastor Stephen Wengam. Honorable Fatima will be here to host that. But your wrapping up comment. So I don't know if you'll be interested. It was meant to be our next topic, though. I heard that your sister went to boom on 31st. I just saw, on Ghana Web that she boomed on 31st.
Yes, but that's her heritage. That's her heritage. I mean, what else would she say? Right. She has to re-echo the values that the father stood for and imparted to us as a nation. Absolutely. Giving birth to the Fourth Republic. So it's important that the principles of probity are considered.
So let me share with you what the quote says. It says, quote, we must have loyal supporters, committed comrades who cannot be bribed and who cannot be bought. Because when the time comes, those are the people who you need to protect your ballot boxes, the people you will need to protect your pink sheets. Because in this current dispensation, when you find that you are not satisfied with the outcome of an election, when you go to court, you must provide evidence of the wrongdoing. And that evidence lies in your pink sheets and in your ability to gather evidence, unquote, and so on. And this was on 31st night. It wasn't about prophecy. I mean, this was on 31st, not the 9th. It wasn't about prophecy. It was about the 31st December celebrations.
Yes. You see, this focus on pink sheets, it's a problem for me as a practitioner. You see, in law, the duty of the entity to keep evidence of public elections held is the Electoral Commission. is the Electoral Commission. I don't have any such duty. So if a court will now demand of me to produce the evidence of outcome of the election, I've always had a problem with that trajectory.
We'll get a legal platform for you to do the education. But let's move on to Dr. Zanata because we have to wrap up now. Yes, Doc.
Yeah, thanks. I think that comment was actually based on the fact that there's too much monetization in our politics now, and it was really to make the point that we need to have values that cannot be bought. We need to have principles that are above this concept of, the cocoa season, where people feel like, campaign time and election time is when they just make money. And it was to avert people's minds the fact that you're looking for an improvement in your conditions. You're looking for leadership with integrity. Your role as someone who is electing, you must have integrity as well. And it must not be a case of the highest bidder.
That's
but
correct.
I think as well that, if I may, that one of the headlines that you mentioned was to do with the COVID-19, protocols being, changed. I am not looking forward to having my nose poked every now and then. Are you?
At the airport.
Yes.
Well, I'm not also looking forward to the reviews, but if that is what will keep us safe, we may just have to endure. And what you said earlier about, commitment and loyalty and monetization, that I'm sure is the, spirit of the, revolution, probity and accountability. And all of that. Dr. Fatma, 30 seconds. I have to be unfair to you.
You are speaking into the future. Dr. Kamik, meaning I have to pursue a PhD.
He's prophesying.
Yes.
Did I also refer to you as a doctor?
Yes, I receive it.
Because you see, I see a lot of doctors.
Yes.
I mean, I thought that, but I know you are a lawyer for now. So amen.
Yes, Honorable, I believe in democracy, and very crucial to that is that our political parties survive. I don't think on any day I will agree with an NDC position on anything. But when it comes to choosing an alternative system of government rather than NDC, then I'll say, okay, then let's have NDC in the room. Because when we have political parties and we are able to offer people alternatives, that is when we can sustain a system where we have mass participation in who should lead us and who should take decisions for us. But the issue about monetization that Doc mentioned, especially for women, is something that is of great concern. I have been to Germany and a few places to study their political systems, and you realize that there is heavy regulation as to how much you can even donate to political parties. We don't have the luxury of that, and it appears we are in a position whereby some of these challenges win away the trust that people have in the kind of leaders who emerge in a democracy. So collectively, all of us have the duty to work on that.
Dr. Adumaku Kisi, I know you will forgive me. We'll go for a commercial break. Okay, so the producers are very kind to us. They say I can pick your final words before we go for the commercial break. So, Doc, your final comments.
Well, my only thing is that Ghanaians should know that we are here to serve them. And although politics has so many dimensions, I want to reassure them that all of us mean well. Once we start politics, the country's interest is at heart, be it NDC, NPP, from what I've come to see. And I really think that we should continue to have faith in democracy, because without that, a lot of bad things can happen. So let's have faith in democracy and support your average politician so that when we win, you win.
So I say it's like the NDC deciding to go to Circle, using the Kanda Highway, and the MPP suggesting that no, we should use the what's the name of Kaokudi, something of that sort. But thank you, gentlemen and ladies, for making this segment quite interesting.